Hello and welcome to episode 150 of the Talking Wednesday podcast. It's James and Jake for you this week. Yes, it's a 50. There's a 50 on this episode, and it's not our big in-person episode because if you missed us saying, we are going to get together at some point in the next couple of months and have that in-person episode, but it's just not going to be for 150. It's going to become more of a yearly special now. Yeah. Well, this year anyway. Like if we get to 200 or 250, for example, that probably means we have to do something specific for that episode. But that's a lot of episodes, and a lot can happen between now and then. But yeah, 150 episodes of Talking Wednesday, eh?
And we've not had that to want to go. Now we're done. We're still going and stuff. Well, and he managed to make. He managed to make me into a decent person at being able to do a document now. So,
no,
I mean that was the hardest part.
No, you and me. It's easy. It's just a case of with the logistics of the last few months, it's been trickier than expected. But I will say, whenever we do sit down, it's always a fun time. So. It's good to be back with you. Yes, the podcast is later this week purely because of those specific reasons. Jake's got a newborn. I had appointments all week. I've not spoke to Jack this week, so I don't know what he was doing, but I wasn't going to ask him to do a solo for this episode. So, we basically just couldn't make it work until now. And now, the day of recording this is Friday, so if you are watching this, it potentially goes out Friday, or depending on when I can get it out, it might go out Saturday before the Coventry game. So there will be, there might be a slight delay next week on the next podcast. But actually, I think what we might do is we might do the podcast in its normal slot. There might not be a lot of news, but transfers move quickly. And obviously, we'll be doing something around the transfer window.
The transfer window can be interesting because not a lot of people have worked this one out, and I only worked it out the other day looking at the fixture. Like, we could have gamed the day the transfer window is finishing.
Yeah,
Watford,
I'm actually helping out at a charity event as well all that day, so like I won't be able to finish early either. So it's a case of I will probably be coming from this charity event to
go straight into production mode.
To go straight into like sorting this and doing the match, doing a watch along, and doing the transfer deadline day. So that's and then I'm at work the next morning because it's midweek, innit?
Yeah.
So
it's all
that's
fun.
Gonna be a fun few hours. But how have you been, mate? It's been a little while.
It's been good. It's been a very good week. I've been quite productive. I made both you and Jack very jealous of my new internet feeds.
Yeah, just because I've obviously changed internet providers and I've got nothing now. It's
ridiculous. I literally just did a speed test. I'm getting an 860 down and 108 up. It's mental. I managed to download a game that was 50 gig in about 10 minutes. It was lovely. But it's that weird thing where I'm getting to grips with newborn life, and we've got a routine now. Now the eldest is at school, we've got a routine in place, which is easier. He's sleeping a lot better at night, and I don't feel as tired, even though I look it, as a school mum said to me this morning, which was lovely. Literally, you're looking very tired and late. I said, I've had a newborn child. Oh, that'll explain it. I was like, great. If I said that the other way around, I'd get slapped.
Yeah, it's a bit double standards, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's been good. I'm trying to... you know where you get that bit in the new year where you're trying to figure out where your place is for this year and what you want to do?
Yeah.
And your goals and stuff?
Yeah.
Mine has literally been pretend it's like The Sims and just keep people alive at the minute. Because I'm struggling with my own health at the minute. I've got a consultant appointment some point in February, and they're always fun. You get this thing where you have a yearly update. And you have a yearly sit down with them. They say, has anything changed? Is there anything we can do to help? And 9 out of 10, you go into it and it's fine. And it's like, I'm looking forward to this one because there's going to be a load of stuff on my new note where I'd been to hospital a lot last year. You know, playing games with, like said, tables and cutting my head open and stuff. So I'm going to have an interesting conversation with him. But apart from that, it's been good. It's been busy. And that's your line, I know, but it's been very busy. And it's been... Newborn life, it's not for the people who like sleep, let's put it that way. How's your week been?
The usual busy, but busier. It's been quite mad this week, hence all the changing stuff around. Yeah, it's interesting you talk about New Year's goals and things like that. I think this year I just want to. I want to find a healthy balance. I want to get to a point where I don't feel like I have to do things, and I want to do things again. Do you know what I mean? In a lot of things. So yeah, I think I'll. That's what I'm aiming for this year.
Yeah.
Be healthy, and also make time for what I want to make time for, not what I feel that I need to. Because, as weirdly deep as it is, and I don't usually get this deep, but life isn't guaranteed for anyone, So no. There's all about the grind, but there's also about finding a balance. So and make sure you can actually enjoy yourself. Because
there's also that pleasing other people, isn't there? There's that pleasing other people, or trying to do things for people which you think is the right thing, and then you do about 2 days worth of self-reflecting. Go, why did I do that?
Yeah, but no, it's nice. Like, part of it is I'm trying to find a bit more time. So we recorded on a day I wouldn't usually be able to record, but I've moved work things to a point where I can have a little bit more time in areas to focus on this sort of stuff. I enjoyed like the first year of this podcast so much, and I think it's because I was hardly working in terms of, and don't get me wrong, I've not stopped enjoying the podcast, but I think anybody will know when you're burning the candle at both ends and you're doing other stuff. Like last year, for the past couple of years, I've had like a couple of jobs on at once all the time. That took up 6 days of my week, and then the podcast would have been on the other day. And then I had a little bit of breathing time just to, on the 7th, just to reset before you do it all over again. But you're shattered by that point. And then things would creep in on those days, like you've got to do all the live stuff. You've got to go shopping. You've got to fit everything around it. So
I think it's that other thing as well, where you look at what a lot of people understand on the creative side of podcast YouTube. It's not just turning a camera on and talking. It's a lot of logisticals after the fact. It's getting it out there and stuff. And the podcast, when a podcast is like this, that started during lockdown where you had all that time, then you get that thing where, oh, hang on, I'll go back and do my usual stuff. And I think this is the thing, the fact that we've managed to get it to 150 and still going, and not had that thing of going, we've always managed to find a way of making it work where it suits everyone. Kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, this is very much a passion project that we both enjoy. We love making the content, but at the same time, getting to just sometimes sit down and get us both together in the same page, the document done, and everything like that. It's a task. It can be a massive task. And I also know that I kill the performance of the podcast if I don't have, and I do it every single week at the minute because I don't have time to make the little breakouts and clip things out. And that's when I know that the podcast performs really well, when we actually get the algorithm going, sort of thing. But when I don't have time to do that, I know I'm actually making the podcast performance suffer. But then I also know that the podcast, there's always that core there, and that core that watch it every week. So it will always be there in that sense until one day we've had enough. I'm sure. Well, I've been doing this since 2012, so. So it's like, I might not have enough. For me, it all just depends what changes in life. And I think that's the thing. There's things that happen in life, and sometimes you have to put your passion product to one side and then do other things. But at the end of the day, we enjoy making content. We're not sick of each other yet. Well, we have days. No. But it's that whole thing do
you know what? We've not had as many things. This past 6 months, we've been pretty chill again. It's been like the first year. So it's been all right.
Last year was just me stressing out because I was having a newborn.
Jake, have you had a newborn by any chance? You haven't mentioned it.
Nah, I haven't. You've been really busy.
Oh, never, mate. All the time in the world, mate. Anyway, let's move into the Sheffield Wednesday stuff. You can leave us reviews, all those sort of things. Membership options are available. Talking Wednesday Extra will be available very shortly. We're doing a few changes with that, actually, the way that's going to work, and we will announce that next month. So keep your ear to the ground on that one. Since the last time we played, since the last time we spoke,
we recorded.
We did have that game against Southampton. We probably just need to talk about.
I think all you say is they absolutely dominated us. And the thing is, this Southampton team it's very much a team that pass you off the park. They have so many passes in that game. It's unless you've got a really good midfield that can break it up. A new flash, we don't have that midfield to do that. It's very difficult. And I think from the word go, I think we started well. First 5 minutes, pressed them, nearly got a goal thanks to Windass doing the pressing. And then the high press just disappeared. And again, this is the thing. We don't have the players. We got the player, but we don't have the players who can hit that high press. And as soon as they got that first goal and you saw the way it went about, it's like the way it defended it, it just... And I know Bambo got a lot of stick for it. I understand it and I get it. But at the same time, he's just come back from not playing three games. So he's going to be a little bit rusty. There's only so much you can do in training. But
it's
that
true,
ball
but
shouldn't have come into the box.
It shouldn't. But let's just talk about Bambo for a second, because at the minute, for me, we do look a better side without him in it.
We do, but there was also a period in that Coventry game where when we played Coventry, where he was yelling at centre-backs saying them getting into position when they weren't. And it was it's an interesting one, because the problem is...
I'm just saying temporarily, because he has had some good games, but for me, he's that player that can either be really solid or he's got the mistakes in them.
It's the Jermaine Johnson over a couple of years ago, where one game he'd be really consistent and one game he'd make all the mistakes. And at the time we got...
You can't have that in a centre-back, though.
You can't have it in a centre-back, no. In a winger, you can have it, but in a centre-back, you can't have it. Preston did warn us that he was very inconsistent. 1 week he'd be good, 1 week he'd... The problem is, who would be playing him right now is injured? Iorfa. If it were up for me, you have Iorfa, Icky, and possibly Bernard in a back three.
Yeah, but I would actually potentially just have a back two of Bernard and Iwekwe.
Yeah, true.
You know, the back two centre-backs, and then just play full-backs.
Yeah, but we've not really shown much of doing that yet, really, have we?
I know.
Because, fully enough, we don't have the fullbacks.
Which says to me we need a centre-back still this January, and it's now we've got like 11 days left of the window. Time is ticking.
I'm not too worried about that, because out of 24 clubs in the Championship, 17 have made signings, and 2 of them have been ours. I think this window, the January window, is always a tricky one, because everyone's trying to look for the same player and the same kind of situation. And I think you've got a situation now with... I'm turning into Danny. We've got a situation where when we get things looking at players, everyone's looking at the same player. And the problem is, I don't think we can offer some things that other one can. And at the same time, are there going to be clubs who want their player to go to a relegation scrap? Do they want them to have a... You know, where their development is? Is it that they need to learn how to be in a relegation scrap? Is it that they need to be up at the top fighting for going for playoffs or something? And the thing is, we still need that.
If they have a proper scouting network, though, they should be able to see the actual... They should be looking at form tables and the way teams are playing, and the fact that Wednesday quite clearly are much better than they look, if you get me, you know, in terms of a side. So if they've got a proper... If the club that's loaning them out, or, you know, we're buying for all players... agents looking, they should be looking properly at the actual situation as it is, because that's the one thing I will say on podcasts sometimes when we're linked with a player and then he's linked with another club or something, and we go, well, why would he want to go to them? But then we don't know as much about the context at that club of why they want to go to them, and that's where it should be done. The work should be being done.
And also the club loaning them, if it's a loan, can sometimes always go, we want you to go here, and sometimes the player doesn't have a say. I think you look at everything that's going on, man, and this is something I kind of thought about last night. Is there a little bit of player going, because Danny's so new, that trust element? They know what they like, because it's his first manager gig, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I must say, like, there is a lot to be said about off the form table and the way the side's playing and the style of the football. It should be more attractive than you would think. So it does raise questions about. It does raise questions about if the player. I guess a player's got to come here and have some bottle. That's one thing they do have to have.
The only reason why the player that didn't sign, who were going to sign in this before this game, which was Connor Coventry, who went to Charlton, was a mixture of A, Charlton gave more money, basically. B, he's a London lad, so he had I think location was a big thing. 23-year-old coming up north for a permanent transfer, not a loan, a permanent. I think that's different. I think he wanted to stay down south. And the only thing I got with this, why the hell would you let Backinson go if the deal isn't completed? It feels like a bit of a mistake because it's now left us very short.
Yeah, I do agree. We now need to fill that gap in midfield because I think Momo Diaby could be a gem for us in the midfield, but if he picks up another injury, we are looking light.
We're very light.
We're ridiculously light. Actually, it's a situation where you have to fill that position now.
Well, you could tell in the game when Volk came on at half time, we were like, right, brilliant, Volk's is on, you can get something in. And I will say this now: there's 2 goals that they scored, the second and third. The only reason they scored their goal is because we were pressing to go get a goal the other end. And you know what? I prefer us to actually go press and try and find the goal and then sit back. I like that. I've always liked that. That's always been something I like. I'd rather a team go for it and get tonked 4-0 and then go, well, we're going to just sit back and just get peppered. I think the only thing is that there's a bit in Danny's management style he may need to learn when to maybe sit back a little bit and counter. But at the same time, cracking goals, they did really well. If you look at possession stats, 69 possession for them, 31 for us, 15 shots, 6 in ours, 7 on target for 14 corners. There was one point where they just had corner after corner after corner, and we just couldn't get out. We couldn't get out, and the fact that they didn't actually do much from corners, I was actually shocked by. But it is one of those ones where you look at it and you go, yeah, a win would have been good, but they are a very good team, and they're probably going to go up. I've got them going up automatic. I think they're going to leapfrog Ipswich.
They're absolute quality, right? And it's just a situation of it just shows what we've been saying all along, which is why I said at the start, before Danny was appointed, that relegation would be disastrous for this club, because each time we go down to League One, you see the gap from the Championship and the Premier League getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you just become like a club that can't even compete in the Championship, which is a problem. So we just need to make sure we avoid that at all costs. Let's move into the news then. So that we'll do a couple of pickup pieces. Go on, Jake, finish what you were saying and then we'll move in.
The only saving grace was Watford beating QPR.
Yes. Yeah. And obviously Huddersfield held out to a draw with Plymouth as well at that time.
Yeah.
We've not done the review. That will be back for the next episode. Let's move into the news then. So a couple of pickup pieces, as I was saying, stuff we missed. James Beadle has signed for Sheffield Wednesday. Reads as follows: the Owls have completed the loan signing of goalkeeper James Beadle from Premier League Brighton and Hove Albion. The 19-year-old spent the first half of the season on loan in League One with Oxford United, where the talented young shot stopper became a key member of the U's side. He now moves up to the Championship with Wednesday for the remainder of the season. Beadle began his career at Charlton Athletic before making the switch to the Seagulls in September 2022. He was loaned to Crewe in January 2023 and enjoyed his first taste of senior football, catching the eye after a string of impressive performances. Beadle moved to Oxford in July last year and soon established himself at the Cassim Stadium, enjoying an unbroken run between the sticks between August and January. The teenager has represented England from the under-15s to the under-20s, as well as receiving call-ups to the Three Lions under-21s. Now, he didn't play the first match. Danny Rull stuck with Dawson. Do you think that needs to change with Coventry?
I think he's going to change it. He's got to. You don't bring him in and not use him. I think there's something for what's going on with the goalkeeping situation. Yeah, Camp's been given a chance and he's giving his in, but I think you've got to start him. You've got to at least give him a chance and see what he can do, because He's taller, he's younger, he's quicker, he's better out with his feet. This style of passing out from the back might actually really help with Beadle. Like, just moving the ball faster. And it might help, like, when we've had it where the ball come to a player at the back and it's been a little bit, the player's not ready or the player's already gone and the ball's in no man's land. It could help. I think he starts him, personally.
I think he should. I think he definitely should. My worry is that he feels a loyalty to Dawson to try him another couple of games, so it's not being like, oh, you've had one chance and you've not really done anything massively wrong in that chance, but I'm dropping you anyway because it was a token gesture. That would be my worry, But for me, you've got to be ruthless, and you've brought a keeper in who shouldn't be here just to sit on the bench. As Vasquez has gone back as well, that's a story we had later in, but Vasquez has gone. We will link that into this story, actually, when we talk about goalkeepers. He clearly didn't fancy Vasquez. He's brought in his own keeper now, a keeper that seems to fit the style, is an informed keeper, granted at a lower level. Dawson's been making mistakes this season. I've got a lot of time for Dawson, but I do think we need to put Beadle in between the sticks. In reference to Vasquez, then, it just didn't work, did it? When Danny came in, he didn't fancy him by the looks of it.
No, I think that's the thing you've got. It happens at time. We saw it all coming. We all saw it coming a mile away once we brought in a new keeper. But at the same time, it took longer than I think it should have done for him to actually go back. Because I think there was a lot of people going, why is he still here? What's going on? But at the end of the day, he came in, it didn't work. We move on and we wish him well in his career and hopefully he does well. I think he's already getting loaned back out by AC Milan anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. But we also brought in another loan man.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. I just want to finish the Beadle story first. I love the link there that you tried to do there, but we'll keep them in separate bits for now. I don't know if we talked about Beadle's FIFA card, and it's a tradition. So it was a 63 rated bronze, 63 diving, 63 handling, 63 kicking, 63 reflexes. I feel like I did read this. 35 speed and 63 positioning. So he's woeful. But and there's no evolutions for goalkeepers. So FIFA were out of luck, I'm afraid. Or EAFC, I should say. But yes, as you did say, we did bring in another lone player. And that was Ike Ugbo, who comes to Sheffield Wednesday, and the article from the Wednesday website reads as follows. The Owls have signed Ike Ugbo on loan for the remainder of the season from French League 2 side Troyes. Ugbo spent the first half of this campaign in the Championship on a temporary deal with Cardiff City, scoring against Wednesday back in August. He now moves to Hillsborough and becomes our second signing of the January transfer window following the capture of goalkeeper James Beadle. At 25 years old, Ugbo brings with him plenty of experience with over 100 senior starts to his name and 38 goals along the way. He started his career as an academy prospect with Premier League Chelsea, gaining his first taste of senior football during a loan move to Barnsley. Similar loan moves follow to MK Dons, Scunthorpe United, Roda JC in Holland, and Belgian outfit Cercle Bruges. Ugbo stayed in Belgium to sign for Genk on a permanent basis, scoring a match-winning goal against Anderlecht on his debut. A loan switch next came with Troyes, where the forward pressed to earn a 4-year contract. He moved to Cardiff last summer and made 22 appearances for the Bluebirds. On the international stage, Ugbo represented England under-17s and under-20s before switching his allegiance to Canada. He earned an immediate call-up for the 2022 World Cup qualifiers and was part of the Canada squad that featured in the Qatar showpiece. Ugbo has been allocated shirt number 12 for the duration of his Essex stay. Welcome to Wednesday, Icky. Now, I saw constantly on Twitter around this that from Cardiff fans that he is just a player that scores goals. He doesn't do anything else. He just gets in the box, finds a position and scores goals, which is exactly what Sheffield Wednesday need. That is exactly what we need, because the one thing that we have been doing is putting balls on a plate for strikers and not finishing our dinner.
Now, here's the thing. Masaba and him had a link-up in Belgium. And they had a fantastic record. And I mean a really good record. Like linking up and playing well. And but Everybody missed something out here, though. Who would have signed him at Cardiff and recommended him? Kevin Beadle, because he was the head scout at Cardiff.
Right.
And Kevin Beadle came in December, October to Wood, didn't he?
Yeah. I've slept since then. My brain is gone, mate. Did he? Go on.
So remember when we got
this is why he's on the podcast, because my brain is like soup.
So remember when we got in Kevin Beadle? He worked at Arsenal, Manchester United, all that lot. His last club was Cardiff City. And who would have brought him in August at Cardiff? Kevin Beadle. Yeah. And I think, I wonder if he looked at the kind of thing, I've got Masaba here, and looked at clips and gone, hold on, that's the same player who were making goal for each other and helping. That link-up is going to be key, I think.
And I want to see it at Coventry. I want to see it happen. I'm mildly optimistic about this, actually. But it looks like we're not done because we are still being linked with strikers. So I think you bring in another striker, right? Maybe a young Premier League loan, which seems to be a lot of the links that we're getting, right?
Yeah.
You've got Ugbo and you've got Kadamatri. That is youth with a point to prove, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
That's actually potentially better than what we've been doing recently with the old experienced heads that get injured, you know, or just don't seem to have it in them, or that we come to them as their last stop before they need to drop to League One. Like Jordan Rhodes is doing fantastically in League One. And can I just say, by the way, we did say that when we got relegated that we should probably keep hold of Jordan Rhodes because he will bag in League One. And I reckon we'd have gone up that first season. But there we go.
Do you want to know what their record was between them when they were in that kind of situation? Going 22 goals and providing 3 assists between them. And that's when they were in a relegation playoff situation.
That's going to be a big thing. Because if you have... Because I know he likes to play... You know, if he plays 3 along the front, you could have like Gassama, Ugbo and Masaba. But for me, I'd even potentially... I'd want to fit Kadamatri in there. You know?
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky. Because I would want to fit Kadamatri in there. Which is potentially why...
where you put it.
I don't think he'd play with 4... Like... You don't play a 4-2. I don't see many people play a 4-2-4. But if I was on FIFA, I'm 100% playing a 4-2-4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm having Kadamatri, Ugbo, Saba, Gassama, midfielder of Bannon and Diaby, and then a back 4 for me, left back. Who's your favourite left back at the minute? Who do you think sits there? Well, it's Johnson, isn't it?
It's Johnson.
But he plays as a wing. He plays as a winger better. So for me, it's probably Johnson over Gassama.
Yeah, I think the thing you got as well, and also a little bit of a special mention. I think Ashley Fletcher's done a lot better since Danny come in.
Well, that's why I know he's going to stay. Actually, he's going to keep him around because I think he's a hold-up player. He's not scoring goals, but he has shown that as a hold-up player, he's actually pretty good in that regard. You know,
that's all he's missing though is a goal.
Yeah, exactly. But I think because we've already got him, you might as well keep him as a hold-up player now.
Oh, God, yeah.
Hendrick should go back for me because I don't think he's getting utilised enough.
The problem is Hendrick's a difficult one. We tried to turn around to Newcastle and go, hey, can you have him back? And Newcastle gone, nope, he's all yours. And Hendrick has got a knee issue as well, which is they will not take him back.
It's ridiculous that we haven't got a kill clause in that contract, you know. But yes, let's go over Ugbo's FIFA card. He's a 70 rated striker, 74 pace, 68 shooting, 57 passing, 68 dribbling, 29 defending, and 69 physical. Quite a good card there. Let's have a look, actually, because I'm intrigued. What could have his evolutions been that we've missed? And then I'll get annoyed that we didn't sign him at the start of the season and I haven't got like a ridiculous striker. So his best ever time, if you'd have used the best path on him, you could have him at an 89 rated striker.
Oh! You said you would be annoyed.
Ah! The thing is, though, if we'd have done that, I'd have been able to do that with him because it was during the time when FC Founders 2 came in. So you could have used Like a Rock and Growth Spurt and then the FC Founders. That card is ridiculous.
It
right?
is.
82 acceleration, 92 sprint speed, 86 agility, 90 reactions, 85 ball control, 84 dribbling, 85 composure. His finishing is 88, his position is 87, shot power 82, his long shots aren't great. What's his passing? So you wouldn't really want to cross with him. His crossing 78, but he's a striker, so you just put him up there, and he's got dead ball plus, power shot, bruiser, ping pass, and flair. If you whack a... what's probably best to whack on him there? Maybe if you put a finisher on him, his finishing goes up to 99. You max his stats out there. But if you put a hunter on him... I know, this is just upsetting me now. If you put a hunter on him, his sprint speed goes up to 99, his acceleration goes up to 90, so he gets 95 pace overall, and his finishing goes up to 96. That's what I'd probably do. I'd probably put a hunter on him, make him rapid. That's upsetting. That is really upsetting. But there we go.
How annoyed are you now?
Quite. But yes, welcome to Wednesday, Ugbo, and hopefully we see him against Coventry. Yeah. Some more good news. Cadamartri has won the EFL Young Player of the Month award from the Wednesday website. Reads as follows: Bailey Cadamartri has scooped the EFL Young Player of the Month award for December. By his own admission, it has been a whirlwind period for the 18-year-old Owl striker, who made his senior league debut in November before scoring 3 goals and penning a new contract in the following month. Cadamartri netted against Blackburn, Norwich and QPR, whilst also providing a classy assist for Marvin Johnson's crucial winning goal at Preston. The teenager said, and quote, "It feels really good to win the award. I feel like it's a gratitude to my hard work recently and I've earned it. But obviously for my name to be on a list with some of the previous winners, it's a complete honour, and hopefully I can get to where some of the winners have got to one day. It really has been a whirlwind. This time 6 months ago, I couldn't have ever dreamed winning an award like this. I hadn't even played any minutes in the Championship or scored any goals outside of the development team, so it really does top it off. It's been tough, but I'm always grateful for the opportunities and I'll work hard and try my hardest. The manager has put his trust in me and I feel like I've given him a reason to trust me. The week before the Millwall game, I was involved a lot more than I had been ever before. So I think at that point, I knew he was taking me seriously as a player, and it's great to work under him and learn under him. He's a great manager." End quote. Further testament to the turnaround in Wednesday's fortunes, Danny Rolls Manager of the Month nomination for December. So he got nominated there. And didn't get it, no. And Cadamartri has given an insight into the buzz behind the scenes triggered by the Germans' arrival. He said, end quote, "It's a very positive place in the dressing room right now, to be honest. The last few weeks since the new manager came in, things have really picked up. He's brought a new structure to the place, giving people a level of positivity into every single game, and we firmly believe we're going to get out of the relegation zone. The manager's main focus is intensity, and that's what we play with. We want to be on top of games and work really hard. For example, he says that if you work at that full intensity and you're tired after 60 minutes, but you've given it your all, that's fine. Someone else will come on and work to the same level to get the result," end quote. I love that.
I like that.
I love that.
I like that a lot.
Because you do see it, and Danny does get players off that pitch if they start to flag. Yeah. You know, because you keep that intensity, and he's got better at doing that as well. Cadamartri is going to have a career in this if he keeps his head down. And he does it with Wednesday.
I just like how fast when they were to get a deal sorted with him as well, and that the player wanted to stay as well. Because
I'm not going to lie. If we do get relegated, and I think we're less likely to under Danny Rule now, but it's still going to be a massive task. He would be one of the things that kept me thinking if he sticks around, we'll be all right. Yeah, you know, because you can actually build with players like that. You can build to success because he's young enough to really make the most of that. But yeah, I think we've done really well with it, getting him in on a new contract. We need to do the same with Bernard and that, but that could go either way, really, depending on how we finish the season.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things though. It's like you're looking at what he's doing, and it's actually really nice to see when they're just promoting some youth as well, because we've seen Joey Poofy come on recently, we've seen Gwilla come on recently. It's like when we said in the past we got a decent academy, why don't we use them? Danny in one sense I got to use it because I got injury, but he's gone. There is actually some good players there. That's why I think Tomo's in that academy in the first team setup, because he knows them all. And it's really interesting. Recently, there've been people noticing that one of our analysts is sat on the bench now instead of being sat up in the sky, so he can immediately feed to Danny. And you see it a couple of times where Danny going straight to the analyst, going, play that clip back. And I love that detail, just for having a look at data analytics and just checking something, so he can go, can we play that on the board in the dressing room at half time to go, we need to fix this. It's like when they're getting into the 21st century, mate.
It took long enough, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we've talked about positives. This could be something a little bit more negative the way you see it. This is from the Yorkshire Post, and quote, Sheffield Wednesday Star has MLS clubs interested as contract nears expiry. This is in relation to Windass. Back into the article that reads as the following. The 30-year-old has been at Hillsborough since 2020, when he initially joined on loan from Wigan Athletic before sealing a permanent switch. However, he is out of contract at the end of the season, and there is said to be plenty of interest in securing his services. According to the Athletic's Tom Bogert, 2 MLS clubs are interested in signing him. There are also reportedly several European clubs looking at signing a pre-contract agreement. Windass has made 19 appearances in all competitions for the Owls this season, scoring 3 goals. He was named in the starting 11 for Wednesday's most recent championship fixture, a New Year's Day triumph over Hull City. It's not the first time Windass has been the subject of transfer speculation regarding overseas clubs. He had previously been named as a target for Argentine outfit Atletico Teleres. Wednesday have already sanctioned 1 exit in the current window, allowing midfielder Tyreek Backinson to join Charlton Athletic on loan until the end of the season. They have also recruited, bringing in James Beadle and Ikeupo on loan from Brighton and Hove Albion and Troyes respectively. Also, Backinson's gone. I realise we've not put that in the document. Oh, yeah. He's gone out on loan. Quickly, before we talk about Windass, what do you think about Backinson going?
Good luck to him. I wish we had a player in before he went, but good luck to him. I think it's one of those moves that worked well for both player and club. Apparently, we've got. I think
that's got to be a Connor Coventry thing. That's got to be a Connor Coventry thing. We thought we had someone coming in and it didn't happen.
Where did Coventry go to?
Yeah, they've got our midfield.
But I think it's that whole thing. I think they were so sure that something was about to happen with that, and that it was nailed on, and then it kind of gone awry due to whatever reason. At the end of the day, Backington had played a couple of games recently because we've not had the cover in midfield, like we said, and I thought he was looking okay, but there was talk that, once he's gone, this will be the last time we see him in a Wednesday shirt. He's a free agent. He's not a free. Apparently, we've got an option as a year on him. Now, hear me out. I'd rather take the option of the year on him and then sell him than let him go for free.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because, but I've seen so many people go, oh, no, just let him go. He's not. No, I want us to stop doing this thing where we don't sell players.
Especially if he has a cracking season with Charlton, like cracking second half of the season. Trigger that option, sell him.
Yeah.
Or trigger that option and give him a chance.
Yeah. On the Windass one, It's getting to this point where I hate the January window. I love it for players and stuff. I hate it because every window we're talking at least 10 to 13 players in our own squad who are out of contract in the summer, who are players who potentially could have been made a bit of money on if we were a bit smarter. And one of the clubs who were interested was Real Lake City. But Windass was really honest about it in the press conference yesterday. He literally turned around and said, look, I'm not bothered about it. I'll let my agent do that. I want to just keep going goals and keep on doing what I'm here. If there's a deal that gets done, then great. But I'll be the first person to know about a pre-contract will be Danny. Before I tell anyone, I'll go in and tell him I've got this. But we've not been in contact with him yet to put a new contract in front of him. Would you give him a new contract next season?
It depends. I don't know his wage structure, and I don't know where we're looking for forwards. It's a case of, I like Josh Windass. I feel like he there wouldn't be any bad blood if he went. It's not like the other situations, you know. What I would say is, because I don't think he's a player that would down tools for the rest of the season. I would say I wouldn't want him to sign a pre-contract agreement. I said it would be better. I think it would be better for the club, and just I think it's always more respectful to see out your contract, because he's going to have options at the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
So see out your contract, and then either you see where Wednesday you're at, and do Wednesday want you involved, or you still should have some of those options available to you, because I think he could definitely do a job for us. Windass is a great player, right?
Yeah, he is.
But it just depends what Wednesday's strategy is going forward. And if
I think he's had his best time at a club at Wednesday than most of the others.
Yeah.
Because he's always had some sort of fallout with something or other kind of thing. He had a fallout at Rangers, he had a fallout at Wigan. And I think here he just matured a lot more. And I think you saw it.
And his goal got us up, you know.
Yeah.
Like we're always gonna have moments. It's one of those things where I wouldn't be angry. It's not like in the situations with players before. I wouldn't be furious if I was like, how dare you, sort of thing. I think he probably deserves like a move to an MLS club or something like that, you know, or a different challenge at some point. But what I would say is, I say this to any player that's departing in this situation, especially ones that have got a bit of a rapport, do it in the way that benefits yourself and the club. Don't do a Liam Shaw, basically.
This is what I'm going to say to you then. There was a story at the same time as this one, which I forgot to put in the document. I just remembered it. There was talk of Liam Palmer going to an MLS club as well on a pre-contract. What are your thoughts with that one? I personally want to see Liam Palmer get another year deal.
Yeah, I want to keep Palmer in this squad, but I also again think he deserves another challenge if he wants it. You know, if it's a case of he's getting off. By the way, he won't be one of the players that breaks the salary cap in MLS. I think a lot of people are saying that go and take a massive payday in the MLS. He'll probably be on very similar money to what he's on now. So it won't be a case of that. It'll just be a different experience. Do you want to move out to America for a couple of years and do all of that? But I also don't know if he'd want to, because he's obviously settled here. He's been here his whole career, apart from loans.
I think he only had one loan. I think it was Tranmere.
Yeah.
I think that was his only loan, and that's when he was really young.
I think he can still do a job, and he shows time and time again that he can break back into the squad. Danny didn't know when he came, and now he's playing for Danny. You know, he works hard, and his commitment to the shirt and the club is another reason why it's a case of, if he wanted to go and do something, then I'd understand that. But I think it'd be hard for him to leave Wednesday. Yeah, I genuinely think that's a completely different thing with him. It'd be very difficult for him to leave his boyhood club, because he's played there his whole career. And he had some amazing moments with us last season. But I also feel like a lot of that will depend on, if we get relegated, I don't think Palmer's going anywhere.
No.
You don't?
To be fair, I don't think Palmer's going anywhere if we stay up, because I think he's a good squad player. I think Danny's seen.
No, but I mean, if we got relegated, for example, I think it'd be his attitude, and like, it's like, you know, Bannon said it. We're getting this club back up, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Palmer's actually in a weird position as a Wednesday fan, whereas if he was a Wednesday player at the end of the season, and say the worst did come to it and we did get relegated, he's actually a Wednesday fan with a position to actually contribute to us getting out of that position, whereas a lot of us are just fans that helplessly watch. You know, he can actually contribute to it, and that's a big part of it. But yeah, as I said, I wouldn't have any bad blood if they decided to go to the MLS, Windass and Palmer, but I also feel like they could have a place in this squad. So let us know what you think in the comments below on that one. Right, let's just do a quick talk on parachute payments, because a lot of that's come up this week. Parachute payments and money, and is there too much of an injustice and imbalance, Jake?
I feel there is, because it's weird. I understand that back beforehand it's like you're losing your TV money, but it's now like, here's 80 million for getting relegated. Well done for getting relegated. Hope this helps you out. And nearly every time you look at the clubs that go up from the Championship, it's normally clubs who have come down. It's very rare it's not a club that's come down. And if they are, one of the things in this article which is astonishing, parachute payments are worth something in the region of 270 million a year. If you took the distribution evenly across all member clubs, then the Football League could come up with a formula to say, right, Championship clubs receive 70%, League One clubs 20%, with League Two getting 10%, and everyone will be enabled by it. And that's the thing I don't understand. Why is this? This whole thing, a lot of the times, I believe that the parachute payments are set by and given down to the EFL by the Premier League club. But the thing that gets me and annoys me is like, you looked at our game versus Southampton. Look at the difference between it. It was a difference between a 15 million squad that is roughly us and a 200 million squad.
It's just so weird because our fans are going, oh, they don't have the Premier League squad anymore. And then I remember hearing the lineup getting called out and going, oh God, yes, they do. They just don't have the big stars like Ward-Prowse and that. But they have they still have players that are internationals and are way above this level, you know?
It needs fixing, but I don't think it's going to come anytime soon. And
no, I think it's one of those things I've been banging the drum of. Wednesday need to join the party sooner rather than later, because the other side of the sit will be all right. They're going to be in a situation where they might not be great, but if they're managed financially well, they won't have FFP problems for quite a while because of their promotions and relegations. Right? We need to be in that situation of being a club that you can go and invest in. But I
will say this: are you looking forward to going to the Etihad if it ever happens, if they get charged? Because it sounds like if they do get charged, they're going to get relegated.
The Premier League needs to show the bottle, and they need to charge them. If they bottle this and just fine them, if they bottle it and fine them, and then they send Everton and Forest down with point deduction, it's a joke. It is. But money does talk. I mean, to be honest, the amount of sanctions that they could have, I think if they drag it, they want to face all the charges at once, really. Because, yes, you can get disbarred from the league and stuff, but I reckon the Premier League will bottle it a bit and just relegate them.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll send them down to the National League or League Two or whatever. I think they'll just relegate them. And I think that's probably the best outcome.
I can't wait for the petition to start up going, please sign our petition to send it to the House of Commons, because it's going to happen.
It's just a bit of a mockery of it, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
When clubs like Everton and Forest, with a rich history, have overspent a little bit. And don't get me wrong, if they've cheated as well. You know, Leicester got relegated. There's other clubs that got relegated, but it happens. And it's like United and stuff this season will be saying, well, we've not cheated. And, you know, it just becomes a mess. But then you've got the Man City cloud over it.
Yeah.
Right, back to Wednesday. So, this is from the BBC. Marvin Johnson. Ipswich Town in talks with Sheffield Wednesday over win-back. The article reads as follows. Championship promotion chasers even. Ipswich are in talks with Sheffield Wednesday over signing wing-back Marvin Johnson. The 33-year-old has returned to the fold under Owls boss Danny Rull after not even being registered to play under predecessor Xisco Muniz. The former Middlesbrough player signed an extension to his contract after helping Wednesday win promotion to the Championship last season. There is no agreement on a deal yet, and it is known that Wednesday would want a fee. Johnson has scored 3 goals in 13 appearances for the Owls since Roll brought him back into the side in November. However, while Johnson appreciates and likes Roll and would be sad to leave Hillsborough, he is also keen to further his career and realises a move to Ipswich would give him a chance of achieving his ambition to play in the Premier League. Ipswich is second in the Championship, 3 points ahead of Southampton, while Wednesday are in the relegation zone and 4 points from safety. I don't know where the 1 million's come from, but there's a lot of talk about it being a £1 million fee.
There was a tweet from a journalist who said it was £1 million and we've rejected it. Now, here's the thing is, Dara said there'd been no fee at all put towards us and stuff like that. And here's my thing. And I think this is I'm going to sound really petty, and I don't mean to, but how desperate are Ipswich if they're needing to come to us near the relegation battle to go after Johnson again when they could have got him for free in the summer and they didn't do it.
Yeah, or is it clever? You could look at the other side. Is it clever to capitalise on a player in form that you can... You see, here's the thing what I see this, though. They can probably afford to give Johnson a couple of year contract, but if he gets promoted, they're not going to play him if they get promoted. So it's a case of... This would be a payday for Johnson because we know Ipswich pay well.
Are they going to get promoted? Because
yeah, there is that.
I think Southampton are going to go past them.
And then you've got the playoffs, look, haven't you?
And they got to see what happens in the playoffs. I think this is one of these ones where I get people going cash in, he's 33, and I understand that. And I was a little bit that way as well. But at the same time, there's that whole thing. People forget about what families are like. Like maybe Johnson family, now everything's sort of with him playing now. Maybe they're just happy to be in Sheffield and around this area because they've been here for a while. Maybe they don't want to make the move and he don't want to move up there to change it all up. It's an interesting one. If they're going to do it, they're going to have to come with a fee because according to the start, a fee's not been put forward. But again, if this is going to happen, when they need to have another player lined up ready or two, because we don't have any cover in the left-sided position. So that would completely be suicidal if we don't have any cover there, or we are screwed. Yeah,
we need to. It's. Remember when we got relegated and people were coming in for like £1 million offers for Windass, or might be the season when we were getting relegated, and I said I'm going to say the same thing. Is Marvin Johnson worth £1 million to Wednesday if he helps us stay up? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
But it's also a case of, do we sell him for £1 million if we can bring somebody back in that position? The answer could also be yes.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't sell him for anything less.
No.
Because that's a decent enough fee. If Danny Rule feels like he can bring in a player that's going to do that job, then good, But if it's going to weaken us and it's going to cost us relegation, it's like a £10 million buffer now in the modern football world. That's going to cost us a lot more than that transfer would. And obviously players can pick up injuries. He is 33 now. It's a case of if he starts to pick up some injuries towards the end of the season, we don't know what situation we're going to be in. I can see both sides of it. I can see why Ipswich would want him. I actually think it's a clever move on the scouting move from Ipswich because they can capitalise on a team that's struggling and poach a player that's going to help them in the short term and be that boost, poach an informed player that's got experience in the league and is showing that he can do. He's showing he can adapt as well and come back. Because if you think about how he came back in under Rull and got his head down, he could do that under a new manager at Ipswich. But I think I could see this one happening, but I also think that Chansiri will stand firm and let his contract run down if we haven't got a replacement lined up. And at the minute, it doesn't. We've not been linked with anyone that could play that Johnson role for me at the minute.
No.
So until that happens,
we've not really had anyone really in that position for a while either.
I wouldn't begrudge him a chance at that, but it is a bit more of a difficult one with the situation Wednesday are in terms of the replacement, But I wouldn't begrudge a player for wanting to go to a top two side at the minute. And Ipswich have obviously been flying this season. They're going to be up and around there. Even if they do fall out of the top two, they're probably going to be in the playoffs. So it is joining one end of the table for another. But it just depends on... Johnson might not see him having a stint at this club after the summer anyway. So he might if that is the case, then it might make more sense.
No one actually knows what the contract situation is.
Yeah.
Like people have gone, well, he's on a year contract. We don't actually know. He could be on a 2-year contract. Why we're turning around and say we want a fee?
I think we should keep hold of him unless we can find a replacement. But money talks and league position talks, and I could see it happening. Again, I'd wish him all the best if it happened, but we need to be really careful about who goes out the door when we're in this situation.
Yep, definitely.
This next story is from the Star. It was unexpected. Arsenal starlet recalled amid loan interest from Sheffield Wednesday and others. Denmark under-21 international Mika Bereth enjoyed a fruitful stint at Motherwell in the first half of the season, bagging 11 goal involvements in 15 matches, having overcome a knee niggle earlier on in the campaign. The Star reported earlier this week that he was of interest to the Owls, who are looking to further sharpen their attacking options before the month is out. The 20-year-old forward, described as a direct number 9 type, is also believed to be of the interest to a handful of sides, including clubs in Europe. Wednesday are understood to have been hopeful of completing Bereth's signing, though the emergence of other clubs into the conversation has made things a little less clear, the Star understands. While it is clear he will head back out on loan, it remains to be seen where the London-born forward will end up. Bereth has not played since January 2nd, owing to the Scottish football winter break, but he has been pictured training alongside the Arsenal first team this month, having come through the academy ranks at Fulham before being stolen away to sign his first professional deal with the Gunners in 2021. He has yet to make a senior bow for Arsenal, but has made the bench and spent time last season on loan in the Eredivisie with RKC Waalwijk.
Now,
that's completely bad pronunciation there, but there you go.
There's a lot of people who are going... Because it came out last night that it looked like he'd probably going on loan to somewhere in the Austrian Bundesliga, to Ecke Sturm Graz. And people going, oh, we're losing out to Zippers. Well, hang on a minute. They're in the UEFA Conference. They are second in their league, just behind RB Salzburg on 37 points and RB Salzburg on 39. Maybe Arsenal want him to go and enjoy and crack onto that level as like, go fight for a title and play European football, then actually coming to a relegation scrap. There could be that link to it, because it could be just getting him ready and prepared to like join the first team and different mentality. I understand what people are saying and going, oh, we're losing out for another club kind of thing. But that's the transfer window. It's like what we said and like Danny said, it changes very fast. We can be for one person 5 minutes ago and then somebody else comes in. And I think that's something you've got to be really patient with. Everybody's looking for the same kind of player at the minute, especially in the Championship.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people are still saying that he's coming to Wednesday. A lot of articles are catching up, but then it does look like he could easily be out to the side you previously mentioned. Now, I think he'd be a good shout, to be honest, because he's done well at Motherwell on loan. He's a young player. He's only really just started his career. He's 20 years old, and he would be that Premier League striker, young striker that we talked about taking a chance on to go with the likes of Ugbo and Kadamatri. You've got somebody else in that. He's 6'2", so he offers a little bit of height as well. Let's do his FIFA card because it's very common on this podcast to do that. He's a 62 rated gold with 73 pace, 61 shooting, 48 passing, 60 dribbling, 29 defending, 69 physical. So he is woeful. However,
Here comes the evolution.
If you had an evolution and you did him to his best, he could be an 87 rated striker. Currently, if you've only got the... Yeah, I know. Currently, if you've got the game now and you do sign him, you can get him to a 79 rated striker. So he is usable. He would be one of our best to use on there. But I could see why Arsenal would want to send him to a performing side that are competing in a European competition. Yeah. That goes without saying. But I also think it makes sense to come and fit a system like Danny Rulls if Arteta wants some interest, some experience, a player to have experience in the English leagues. Obviously, it wouldn't be Arteta, would it? It'd be the youth staff there. But it'd be a case of an attacking style. He'd be coming into an attacking style in the English system. So it all depends on and coming up against opposition that you would be more akin to some of the clubs that you would play in the Premier League. So I think we also make sense for him. Do you think it's going to happen, or do you think he is going to end up going the other way?
I think he's going to go the other way. Sadly, much I know people are getting really disappointed that we're linked with players and then we're not getting them. You've got to remember, look at the position we're in. I think if we beat Cardiff, beat Coventry, and we're a couple of points adrift on the relegation zone, more players may have been handed a chance. I think you've also got to remember this is Danny Roll's first ever transfer window. So it's new to him. So it's like, as much as people say got the connection to this, it's making sure it's right for us and making sure it's right for the player. And if the other team who were wanting to loan him don't want to, nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. But he could be a good signing for us. But competition when you're in a relegation battle is always difficult.
Yep.
Such as this player. This is actually from Portsmouth.
Yes, it is.
.co.uk, sorry. And reads as follows. The obstacle now cleared as Portsmouth chase Premier League starlet with Huddersfield Town, Sheffield Wednesday, QPR and co. An obstacle to potentially bringing in Brentford's Miles Part-Harris has now been cleared as the Blues look for recruits to get their promotion push flying again. The attacking talent is a winter window priority, with the 21-year-old seen as the kind of forward-thinking player that could give a faltering bid to reach the championship in the shot in the arm. Now, the reason we're reading about this player is obviously there is a Wednesday link in there. It looked like Wednesday were interested. Do you think we're still in the race for this lad?
I don't know. It's gone quite quiet on him, but that sometimes can be a good thing in terms of transfer if it had gone quiet, because it's the right age. Let's put it this way. It's the right age what we were wanting to come in, and it will be, we do need an attacking winger, let's be honest. That is something that Danny has said he wants. And I'd be interested to see what happened, because one that I'd like us to do, but it's like we were linked with him, I think, a week ago. It may have been the start of this week, but midweek as well, we were also linked with Daniel Grazdag from Philadelphia on loan, the MLS player, Hungarian attacking midfielder as well. So this is the thing. We are linked with a lot of players, but at the same time, it's figuring out a deal that's right for both clubs and where they want to develop. I would hope we could get someone in like a 21-year-old from Brentford, because we know what their academy's like. It's very good. It does help build players. But you look at the people involved, Portsmouth, Huddersfield, us, QPR. Well, Huddersfield went to QPR and near the relegation spot, where Portsmouth, they're pushing for promotion. It's again, do you want him to go get a promotion on his CV?
It is a different league, and we have seen that like players go to lower end championship clubs over us when we were in League One, so it can happen. But again, you are very astute in the fact that a promotion is always a better atmosphere for a player to be around. But I do actually think out of Huddersfield, us, and QPR, we are the obvious choice with the manager and the form, because if you want to score goals and you want to be in a system that attacks, play under Danny Rull.
Yeah.
We know Darren Moore's not fantastic at that. I think his days are numbered at Huddersfield, you know. Like
it's not looking good, is it? It's looking really bad. And you know what the really stupid thing is? Please, this is going to sound really bad, but please still be there when we have to play you at the end of Huddersfield, start of February,
yeah.
Please.
He might still, he might get one over on us though. You never know.
Yeah, it's again. This is how mental this window been. This is literally how mental this window been with everyone. 1 minute we're linked and then it's gone, and it's like there's a player you liked from Tottenham, Alfie Devine, is it?
Yeah, football manager gem.
He just gone to Plymouth on loan.
They are playing Football Manager, aren't they? But yeah, speaking of video games, EAFC, Miles Part-Harris is a 63 rated bronze with 63 pace, 61 shooting, 63 passing, 63 dribbling, 52 defending, and 68 physical. So not a great card, but yes, again, he has an amazing evolution that could have got him to an 88 rated centre midfielder. He's currently got no very good active evolutions though, so if you did get him, he wouldn't be great to evolve in this January window. But yeah, all these players would have been perfect for all the evolutions I was trying to do all year. But that's just the situation we find ourselves in. Let's move on to the weekend then. So we play Coventry twice in a week.
Yep.
Which is once in the league and once in the FA Cup. They are currently sixth in the Championship. Yeah.
Deja vu, we did this against Fleetwood last year, if you remember.
Coventry are a good side. You know, It's going to be a big challenge. They are on 40 points at the minute. They've got 10 wins, 10 draws, and 7 losses. Their home record is 6-7-1. Their away record is 4-3-6. So they do lose a lot on the road, and they're playing us twice at Hillsborough this week. So you would hope that we can make home advantage count. For me, it's something we've got to try and scrap something from. Go for it in the league. Yes, I'd love a cup run, but I also think that the league is so important to us that the cup... I would love a cup run, actually, because I actually think this is a side that can beat anyone on the day. But it's just a case of that consistency, in the league. It's a priority. So how are you feeling going into this doubleheader with Coventry this week?
I think it's one of those ones, if we can start well and press and keep that press going, I think we're going to be all right. And I think the thing is, again, it shows you how much Callum Patterson is crucial to the team and how much we've missed him. Because when he was in the team, we were pressing better, he was high up, he was in the faces. We haven't really got anyone who can do that. And his head injury situation fine now, but he's now picked up a knee injury. Picked up something similar, I think, last season around this time. And it's one of those situations, we don't have that player who can just get in someone's face like Callum can do. And I think that is crucial to this Danny Rule pressing system as well. Because if you look at how most of the pressing starts, it starts with Callum and Bailey pressing higher with them either side and making the mistake. I think if we can start fast and strong and get at them early, I'd like to see Beadle start. I'd possibly make a case, maybe signing Ugbo to start, even that he's already signed. Him start as well, just have that link up play. And I like
Dawson can still play this week. He can play him in the cup.
Yeah.
So start Beadle in the league.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, we got Bayer back as well after his suspension, so that'll be handy.
It's going to be interesting to see if he can recapture some form. Byers is a good player. We know he's there, but for me, we need to make sure he gets the levels he had in League One in the Championship. So Coventry's going to be a tough test this week. We will see you after those two fixtures. We might see you between those two fixtures, to be fair, but I'm not too sure. We'll let you know how the episodes are rolling out. Make sure you follow the Twitter at Talking Wed to keep updated on when the episodes are coming out over this transfer window period, because we're not religiously sticking to the Tuesday slot as we just for the next couple of weeks while we sort all of this out, because usually we can feel like something's going to break and we're going to record an episode and it's annoying. Things breaking just after an episode records, but yeah, we're trying to do that at the minute. But make sure, you keep in touch with us if you've got any ideas for what we've already got a plan for the in-person special. But if you want to be a call-in or something like that, make sure you get in touch on the Twitter. Get in touch with us, or if you're in the Discord, drop us a message in one of the channels, because it would be good to chat to some people again for a call-in episode when we do that in-person episode. But that's all I've got for this week's episode of Talking Wednesday. Jake, got anything to add?
Just enjoy stuff and don't go too mental if something doesn't happen. It's the transfer window. It can all change at a drop of a hat. And I think we're still looking at things and just enjoy stuff.
For me, though, this transfer window has to be massive, though, because the Chancery has put himself in a situation where he didn't back the manager. If he doesn't back the manager in time, then he makes his decision to point Xisco Muniz even worse, because you've actually spent a lot of the money in the summer. This manager, if he had, we wouldn't be in this situation. So for me, it's awkward, because we have to do something more than we're doing currently.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, take care, and we will see you in the next episode of Talking Wednesday.
See ya.